And with that, it feels that Dean has brought about a miracle, because Ruben and Rafi have just tuned in to the Shabbat service from where they are on a volcano in Nicaragua. So we're very delighted to have you with us, you two FPS boys. So let's fully welcome Shabbat as we turn to Lecha Dodi. You can find Lecha Dodi on page 91.
And
So we're on page 92 as we welcome each other, having welcomed Shabbat with the Baruch Hu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma poter sha'arim uvidvuna mashane itim umachalif et hazmanim umasadeh et hakochavim b'mishmoratehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golelo mipnei choshech v'hoshech mipnei or uma'avir yom u'mevi layla uma'avdil ben yom u'ven layla Adonai tzvaot shemo Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv, Aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha atah, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al din Adonai Eloheinu b'shopenu, Eloheinu nasiach b'chuketa, b'mitzvot u'divrei toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ve'orech yameinu, u'malim yom ha'valayla, yom ha'valayla. Be'ahavcha tasu, imenu le'olam yir. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael, Ohev amo Yisrael.
So let's offer the Shema together, our watchword of faith, the sense that allows us to focus our thoughts, our hopes, and just bring some quiet into our mind. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavecha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol modecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
So tonight I would like to share the words of Abraham Joshua Heschel about the difficulty of truth. And I think all of us this week and all of our conversations know that truth is a moving feast. Swinging back and forth the arc described by the pendulum is truth. If you stop the pendulum anywhere along the arc and you say, this point, here, right here at the zenith, say right here, that's truth. Or if you stop it down here at the midpoint and say that's truth, you're wrong. You'll always be wrong, because the truth is the pendulum. And you know this because you've lived and you've experienced life and all of its struggles. And you know that it is always a pendulum and it is always in motion. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל Yisrael. So just before, as I said in our weekly email, every week Dean sings to us the words, spread over us a shelter of peace, when he sings from the song Hashkivenu. Tonight I wanted to just share some words from Psalm 122 and our hopes for what is happening in Jerusalem and around it. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be at peace. Peace be within your walls and peace within your palaces. For the sake of all, our family, our friends, I pray for your peace. For the sake of the house of our God and the houses of other faiths, we seek your good. אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל. Let's go when we're ready to the Amidah, our standing prayer, as we sing with Dean.
Adonai Safatai Tiftach Ufia Gitei Lateva. Adonai Safatai Tiftach Ufia Gitei Lateva.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot v'Imohot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei v'Nehem, Lama'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Hosea Moshia Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך? מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה המתים. And the words of calling on each of us to feel and to be holy. I read Alden Solovi's alternative prayer for this moment. Let holiness enter you, fortify you, shine through you. Let holiness carry you into marvelous moments and majestic years. Learn and teach, study and pray, lifting your life with zest and zeal. Let holiness be your journey and your destination. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el, HaKadosh. Blessed are you, God of holiness.
Shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, et ha-Shabbat la'asot, et ha-Shabbat v'torata berit olam, berit olam. Beini u'bnei Yisrael, oti le'olam. Beini u'bnei Yisrael, oti le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz u'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat v'yinafal. Beini u'bein bnei Yisrael, oti le'olam. Beini u'bein bnei Yisrael, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, et ha-Shabbat la'asot.
combination of Dean and the melody of Debbie Friedman's Zichrana Levracha, perfect for our Shabbat tonight. We're on the top of page 100. Eloheinu velohei avotenu, v'retzei v'mnuchatenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'ten chelkenu b'toratecha, sabenu mituvecha, v'samchenu b'shuatecha, v'tahe libenu la'ovdecha be'emet, v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu b'yahava uvratzon, Shabbat kodshecha, v'yanuchu v'Yisrael, mekadshe shemecha, Baruch ata Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Eternal God, be gracious to your people Israel, and in your love accept their prayers. May our worship now and always be acceptable in your sight. Baruch ata Adonai, she'otecha levadecha b'yera na'avod. And together, let's offer Modim Anachnu Lach, our blessing for gratitude and appreciation. And as always, as is our minchag, to add in the chat anything you feel particularly appreciative for this week. Maybe particularly with so much hardship, sadness, with such a terrible situation unfolding around us. Modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu le'olam va'ed, tzur hayenu magen yishenu, ata hu Ledovado, nodeh lecha saper tehilatecha, al hayenu hamsurim biyadecha, v'al nishmotenu hapekudot lach, v'al nisecha shebachol yom imanu, v'al niflotecha v'tovotecha shebachol eit erev v'voker v'tzoharayim, Baruch ata Adonai, hatov shimcha ulacha na'er lohodot.
Israel tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael tasim. Ki ata melech Adon lekol hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon lekol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael
Baruch ata Adonai, oseh ha-shalom. So as I invite us all to take a moment for silent prayer or reflection, as is your way, I am in two minds for us all, whether to speak on what is happening or whether to allow us to continue this sense of oasis and pause and break from what's happening in the world. I remind you all, as was in the email, that there is an opportunity tomorrow night to talk, to gather amongst liberal and reform congregations and to be together for that moment of Havdalah, of separating and marking the everyday and the sacred and what that could mean for us. I think all I would say to you in the spirit of Shabbat, of positivity and hope, is that moderates in Israel, moderates, Israeli Arabs, are very little reported. So much is happening in terms of peaceful coexistence, support, campaigns and protests calling for peace and an end to the extremist violence. That's what I would say. This week, many of us from our congregation were in that extraordinary call with the IMPJ, the Israeli Movement for Progressive Judaism, their lay leaders and their rabbis, who all said the same thing, that they are working hard, that they are working first to ensure that they're safe, but they take no pleasure in the deaths of anyone, and are doing all they can to work with the communities that they live a part of, live alongside of, despite what's happening, and to say, if at all possible, to lay down guns and to search instead for milim, for words. So I say that not to bring the conflict into our Shabbat service, but rather to bring a sense of positivity and hope. We know that every time something happens, we all are affected here in the British community, and let it give us more cause for peaceful talk, more confidence to be able to speak about the moderates and moderation that exists with great force and commitment, but that we hear so little of. Let that be our hope, that it grows in strength and support. And may, as I said, peace come to all who work towards it. Let's take a moment now.
עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. סלאם yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, od yavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam.
So I hope you appreciated our choice of Song for Peace. We turn now to Aleinu on page 520 as we hope for a world that is better, safer, easier, more at peace, more loving.
Aleinu leshabeach la'adon ha'or, לתת גאולה ליוצר בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, לאמור עלינו להעמיד מלכותו. לאמור עלינו להעמיד מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים גדולים.
We turn now to Kaddish and think of those who are marking and mourning loved ones at this time as they turn to a yahrzeit. We think particularly in our congregation this Shabbat of Benny Press, father of Nicola Marzell, of Brian Rees, father of Alison Rees, of Joseph Singer, father of Trish Baines, of Frederick Williamson, grandfather of Dean Staker, and of Neri Rodriguez Ramirez. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories and their names be for a blessing, and may those who recall and remember their loved ones be comforted in their loss as we join them in saying the Kaddish together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shamei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'hayechon u'v'yom echon, u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Magala vizman kari vimru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mavorach leolam almel maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitada v'yitale v'yitalal shemed kudusha brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Da amiram bi'ama v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Ose shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'al kol bnei Adam. V'imru. Amen. So let's go to our final song, which is always Yavarechecha, the setting to music that Dean did so beautifully for his own son Amon, for us to bless each other as we begin Shabbat before we have Kiddush in our own homes, or for the four of us here. You can follow on page 563. Just a reminder that our doors open next Friday night. We have space for you to come and to be in the synagogue sanctuary with us, but also know that services will remain online for the foreseeable future. Indeed, I can't imagine a time when they won't be. So it will be interesting for us to make sure that the service experience, is equally intimate, equally warm and connected, whether you are at home or whether you are here. And that goes for Friday night and Shabbat morning. So we end with Yavarechecha. They're going to get an email.
Elohim, Sarah, Rivkara, Leah. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'eh Adonai panav elecha, v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'eh Adonai panav elecha, v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Ve'yasem lecha shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And if I didn't make it clear, you will receive an email on Monday night, at the end of Shavuot, giving you ways to book your spot, to explain what happens. But we really look forward, and maybe we'll just be coming back into your kitchen and your living room. Either is fine. So let's have Kiddush together, whatever you're making your Kiddush over. And just while you get whatever you're having, a reminder for those who are Friday nighters that tomorrow evening sees that special gathering. If you're up for it, if you fancy a moment of Haftalah with me and two of my colleagues. Otherwise, Sunday night is Shavuot. It is our last opportunity for shared purely online with other liberal communities. A few of us rabbis decided to do it. We've got study all night, literally all night, and a service together and different sessions of study. Midnight will be the Book of Ruth, and with many other sessions. So I hope you'll look at your program that's in your email, and if you can't find it, just let me know over the weekend. And then services, 2 services on Monday morning, one at 5 in the morning and one at 11 in the morning. I'll let you choose which one you're going to go to. So hopefully you now have whatever you need for Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'achata, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-shabbat.
Amen.
L'chaim.
And for challah, whatever you have, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat